You know, you just can't make this up. And now they're saying this guy, people are saying he is an American hero. And that this man should return home safely to his family. That he was defending himself from a white supremacist. This guy here is disgusted, man. A suspected white supremacist named Austin Metcalf, pictured with his twin, alleged demanded honor student Carmelo to give up his seat like it was the Jim Crow era. He says Carmelo defended himself from the alleged threat. The Daniel Penny case set this.
And the forced narrative of this story that I came across was there was this innocent white kid, okay? He was a student athlete. And you know what? There was this violent black kid. And this white kid just simply told the black kid, hey, can you move, please? Can you really? We just want you to move, please. That's all we want. And the black kid took out his knife and right into the white kid, and now the white kid is gone, all right? And he had a brother, okay? He had a brother, and his brother loved him so much, and the family is devastated. That was the narrative that they pushed forward. And this is typical for what they do. This is, their MO. They love pushing forward a false narrative before the real narrative comes out. They did this, y'all remember Ahmaud Arbery? Oh, he had a hammer. Oh, he was looting and robbing. Oh my gosh, it was self-defense for the white guy. Oh my God, this guy was a criminal. He attacked him. And they will run with that story. That'll be the first thing they do. They push it out. They push the narrative out because they want to get ahead of the truth. Because as we know, once it goes to court, that's when we get discovery. That's when we get the facts and the evidence. And that's when their narratives fall apart. And during that time, just as with this story, they will either A, switch it up. Okay, they'll move the goalposts, or B, they'll lose interest because now it doesn't fit their narrative, right? It doesn't fit their more black narrative, right? So that's what we're seeing, right? That's what we're seeing right now is that people, upon, more evidence coming out of what transpired that day, people are starting to lose interest because now it's showing that, oh, this kid wasn't just some angry black kid. Oh, the white kid wasn't just some innocent white kid who just happened to fall on a knife. That's not what happened. So as more information comes out, what seems to be the story that we've gathered thus far is that these kids were a bunch of bullies. You have, witnesses who are saying that they were the ones that initiated this whole interaction. They initiated and they were the aggressors. And the black kid is claiming self-defense is what he originally claimed. That is seeming to be more likely true. Okay. Now we'll find out once we go to court and everything's laid out on the table. But you had a family member saying, hey, there's video of this. Okay. There's video of this and don't fall for the race baiting. Now, when we talk about race baiting, I always find it funny that you can't race bait in the other direction. Has anyone ever noticed that, right? When it comes to, a white person and you say, oh, it's the blacks, man. This black kid is horrible. They got a cultural problem. This is why we got to deal with the blacks and everything. They don't consider that race baiting. They'll never consider that race baiting. But when you say, hey, why did this white kid, hurt this black kid, or why did this, white husband completely destroy his black wife or something like that? Then that's when the accusations of race baiting come. Oh, why are you race baiting? Why are you race baiting, huh? Why are you such a race baiter, huh? What are you a little race hustler? I always find that humorous to me because I'm like, oh. So you can only race bait in one direction. And the direction is something that criticizes this particular group of white people for doing acts of crime, acts of violence. Because that falls in direct contrast to the narrative that they want to put out there. As with everything else, right? They want to, when it comes to, 1350, they want to look at one aspect, but completely ignore as far as those who were let free off of false arrests, off of false convictions. They want to ignore all that. Then they want to ignore all the other crimes, like that's the only crime is homicide or whatnot. So you have to understand they want to frame this world in favor of them. It will always be in favor of them, but at the same time, simultaneously, they're always the victim. It's it's a weird conundrum. I'm not gonna lie. It's a weird conundrum. Okay, damn. That's what seems to be this story. Is that this kid came out in self-defense, and you had one incident where it says, "Hey, touch me again or come at me again and see what happens." Now, what happens? The kid, the high IQ, this is what they want to say, according to the racists, the high IQ, pattern recognizer, per capita elitist, what does he do? He goes and touches the kid again. And sure enough, this is the ultimate, from what it seems, the F-A-F-O. F around and found out. And he
Lucas just said it. The moral of this story is fuck around and find out. And the Peckerwood, he fucked around and he found out. Black people today aren't putting up with their bullshit. And white people better understand that. Because if they don't start to understand that black people today aren't putting up with what they used to put up back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, back in those days, Jim Crow days. Black people ain't going for that no more. And so you're going to find more and more of these white young men thinking they can F around with, normally they fuck with women, black women. But this dude, he fucked around and found out that fucking with this black man, this young black boy, I should say, this young man, he found out that black people ain't going for it no more. They're not going for it no more. He fucked around and found out.